Hello again, basketball fans, and welcome to another edition of Hardwood Classics on NBA TV. I'm Rick Kamla. Today we're going to go back to the 1992 NBA Finals, where the Portland Trail Blazers would be facing off against the defending champion Chicago Bulls and league MVP Michael Jordan. The Blazers advanced to their second finals appearance in 3 years after losing only 4 games throughout the Western playoffs. The Bulls beat the Knicks in 7 games in the Eastern Conference semifinals before beating the Cavaliers in 6 games in the Eastern Finals to advance to their second straight NBA Finals. Let's take a look back at Game 1 of the 92 Finals and see how the Blazers would fare against the Bulls.
The Chicago Bulls rolled through the regular season, winning 67, losing 15, best record in the NBA. And then in the playoffs, swept Miami 3 in a row. Were taken through a grueling 7-game set by the New York Knicks and did not have an easy time, with Cleveland beating the Cavaliers in 6, while Portland won 57, lost 25 during the regular season, tied with Cleveland for the second best record behind Chicago. In the playoffs, beat the Lakers 3-1, beat the Phoenix Suns 4-1. It took Utah 4-2. We are set for the opening tip. Bill Cartwright steps in to go against Jerome Kersey, and it's controlled, well, deflected out. And it will be Portland ball, last touched by Chicago. Terry Porter being played by John Paxson. And the matchup at the start, Michael Jordan facing Clyde Drexler. Kevin Duckworth going at Bill Cartwright. Nice fake, yes, and it counts.
I would think for Duckworth to start off the basketball game, get the first basket for his team, the first hoop of this championship series, it's got to be a tremendous confidence builder for this young man, particularly a young man who has received his share of criticism this past season.
I think you can look for both teams to go inside early. The game won't be as fast probably in the first half as it will in the second half. So look for both teams to go inside.
A foul committed by Cartwright. Duckworth, a local product out of Harvey, Illinois, who had to garner up a host of tickets for tonight's game, giving Portland a 3-0 lead. Cartwright, and the good box out by Kersey. Here comes Drexler. Yes, and it counts. The foul called on Pippen.
Long outlet passes that pitch ahead to Drexler and Kersey in the open floor. One of the trademarks of this Trailblazer team, Clyde with the tremendous ability to keep his concentration and convert even though the foul takes place.
One thing the fans going to have to look for here is the fact that in the last 2 series, Michael didn't have to play defense. In this series, he will have to play defense all the time.
And what happened that time, Michael went to the offensive boards last time down, got caught underneath the results. Drexler ran out.
Jordan spotting Pippen. Portland 5 and Chicago 2. Drexler, a line drive jump shot with Jordan.
Some of the great ones have the ability to elevate and then see the entire floor. Michael Jordan draws 3 people and then finds Pippen underneath.
Now Pippen posting up. Cartwright blocked by Drexler. Porter with that change of pace dribble was hit by Paxson. And very quickly the Bulls have collected 3 13 fouls. This a non-shooting foul. Phil Jackson wants to not happy about what he has seen here at the start with a minute and a half gone by. We discussed at the start of the telecast the rap put forth by Phil Jackson that the Trailblazers self-destruct in close games down the stretch. I asked Rick Adelman of the Blazers, will he use those comments to motivate his team?
I don't think I have to. I don't think our players forget what's been said, but we haven't talked about it a lot. We've talked about just doing our talking on the floor. We're going to go out and play. We have nothing to apologize for to anybody. I don't care who they are. We've won, I don't know what, 70% of our games over 3 years. We've won 80% of our playoff series. I'm sorry, that just doesn't hold water. If that's the case, then there's an awful lot of teams that are really struggling in this league.
All right, off the steal. Paxson finding Jordan, shooting the three. The save by Cartwright, and Grant was fouled. Called on Kersey.
Well, Marv, talking about what Coach Adelman just talked about, yes, it's out there, and it is in the back of their mind. I think in Game 6 of the Utah series, they needed to win that game in a close game to say, okay, we can win close games.
All right, Cartwright setting up on Duckworth, and he drew the foul. Kevin Duckworth called for his first. And Bill Cartwright, who has had a dreadful time of it at the free throw line, will shoot a pair. Bill Cartwright, when he first entered the NBA with the New York Knicks, was a very solid free throw shooter. In recent years with the Bulls, he's dropped off, and it has reached the point, Magic, 7 for 19, 36% from the line for Cartwright during the playoffs.
But you know why, Marv? When he was with New York, they went to him a lot. He got to the foul line a lot, and he got a chance to get in a groove and in a rhythm. Now, the Bullets do not go to him. He don't get to the line a lot, and his free throw percentage falls off because of that.
Well, he's just helped his percentage immensely by hitting 2 out of 2. Here's pressure by Chicago. We saw very little pressure in the previous series against Cleveland.
No, this is exactly what they want. They had Buck Williams and Kersey backhand on the ball near the half-court line.
And Terry Porter, who has been on fire during the playoffs, able to convert. Blazers 9, Bulls 4.
And that's a good sign for Terry Porter, because in the 2 games this season against Chicago, he was shooting just over 31% against the Bulls.
Michael Jordan. Portland 9, Chicago 6. Drexler getting down. He had to save it. But Williams, offensive foul.
Jordan at the offensive end of the floor, the ability to hang just long enough to get that good look at the front of the rim. Tremendous concentration by Michael.
But Clyde Drexler said that's what they want. They want to force Michael to the middle, to the help. They accomplished that, but Michael still scored.
And then you saw the quick long pass back, trying to get a score in transition. I talked to Paxson before the game. I said, do you want to run up and down with these guys? He looked at me like I was crazy. No way, he said. We have to be selective when we run against this team.
Buck Williams called for his second. He's replaced by Cliff Robinson. Shot clock at 5. Here's Jordan. Cartwright gets to it again. Lost the dribble off his foot. 3-on-2 for the Blazers. Drexler all the way. Clyde Drexler at his best in the open floor, hitting for his 3rd field goal. He has 6, and Portland with an 11-6 advantage.
Marv, nobody better leave their TV set, because there's going to be some great plays in this series.
A live promo offered up here by Magic.
Well, he's not lying, because when you get a guy who can take it at 6'7", lead the break, and then just decide to finish it over the top of everyone, man tells the truth.
Portland has hit its first 5 from the field. Another substitution for the Blazers. Mark Bryant, 4-year man from Seton Hall, replacing Kevin Duckworth, who has picked up 2 fouls. So 2 apiece on Duckworth and Williams. Cartwright being played by Bryant. Jordan shooting the 3, and Porter starts back. Drexler making contact with Paxson. Crowd looking for a foul. And it was knocked out of bounds by the Trailblazers.
And Clyde Drexler caught Paxson on his back in the lane in transition, just posted him up, looked for the long lead pass, just lost control.
Nice look from Pippen, pretty pass from Grant, and Cartwright was fouled. Once again, Cartwright to the line. Porter called for the foul.
Not many big people are willing to be interior passers, but this Bulls team plays so unselfishly. They're always looking for each other, and the key thing is they know where they are supposed to be on the floor. They find their teammates because they're in their right spots. That's execution.
And you can tell that what we were talking about earlier, both teams want to go inside. There hasn't been many jump shots, and both are trying to establish their game right now.
And Bill Cartwright has hit his first 3 of 3 from the free throw line. And the outside official, Hugh Hollins, indicating a lane violation that Cliff Robinson stepped in too quickly.
You may leave and step over the line when the ball's released. You can see there the ball's clearly in Cartwright's hand. He's all the way across in the lane.
Well, see, that's Bill Cartwright's. Watch how he shoots. He comes up with it and then releases. Where most free throw shooters, they come through all in one motion. He has 2 motions.
Little head fake by Cartwright. Jordan able to keep it alive. Paxson for 3. Pippen back for Jordan. And the Bulls here in the early going shooting the 3-pointers. They have not been a team normally that looks for the downtown shot, while Portland does. And the Bulls have been off the mark, only 2 of 10 in this first quarter. Terry Porter, that was 2-point range. He had the foot on the line. And Porter's bucket giving Portland a 13-7 lead.
One other thing to look for, when you shoot a perimeter shot for Chicago, Portland sends that man and tells him to take off for the long lead pass. They fly the jump shooter's man on the shot. He does not have box-out responsibility. So long rebounds will come back to Chicago.
Shot clock has expired. It's a 24-second violation.
Sometimes it's just a matter of inches between the 2 and the 3. Porter going up, touching the white line, which shows that it is only a 2, not a 3.
If the fans can look at, see how Clyde Drexler is playing Michael Jordan. He's not up on him. He's playing like 2 feet off, where he's enticing him to take that jump shot. And right now, Mike is 0 for 2 from out there. And let's see what happens during the course of the game.
Cliff Robinson, yes, and the Blazers have hit their first 7 field goal attempts. It's Portland 15, the Bulls 7. 5 minutes gone by.
And on the other end, you have a 2 for 10 Chicago team.
And once again, Portland on the run. Kersey spinning. That's their first miss of the night. And Pippen was hit on a reacher. Jake O'Donnell making it very clear that he has the call. And it's against Porter, his second.
And in the transition period, the quick outlet pass, Porter trying to slow up that Bulls fast break attack, and that's one of the things that Cleveland tried to do, was particularly jam Pippen, who leads so many of the fast break opportunities.
Portland over the foul limit, so Pippen to the foul line. Scottie Pippen telling us that the ankle and wrist injuries are behind him. He finished the Cleveland series strong with 29 points, game 6 on Friday night in Richfield, had an up and down series against the New York Knicks and then turned it up against the Cavaliers. Bill Cartwright replaced by Scott Williams. So Cartwright departs. Scott Williams making his presence felt against the Cavaliers. Played very well. Had 2 very strong games.
And Bill Cartwright was not happy when he saw that Scott Williams was coming in for him. He really got upset.
6.5 remaining in this first quarter. To this point, the game has been played at the Blazers' tempo. It's tipped home as Bryant was able to get inside to use his muscle and give the Blazers a 17-9 lead.
Well, he may have got the easiest 2 points of his career right there, because I would have given him to Chicago, those two.
The Bulls only 2 of 11 from the field. Jordan again from three-point land. Most unusual to see Michael bombing away. That's his third three-point attempt, and he finally hits.
Well, Marv, Clyde Drexler is enticing him to shoot it.
Miscommunication as Kersey's pass went astray. Bulls now with Paxson and Jordan in the backcourt. Williams and Grant and Pippen up front. Now Jordan posting up. Goes to the fadeaway. Through the foul. It counts. Drexler picking up his first.
One of the things that Chicago knows it can do is post up Michael Jordan at any time it wants to during the course of a season. They didn't use it much in the regular season, but in the playoffs, they've gone to it more and more, the post up of Michael Jordan. Hey, he's their best post up player.
And you know during the playoffs, you must change your game. So they have changed their game, utilizing Michael Jordan's skill in the post.
Bulls again go to the pressure. Porter with the open shot. Terry Porter during the course of the playoffs has been in what can be labeled the shooter's zone, coming off a subpar regular season. He has really turned it on. Blazers lead 19-15. Porter again. Terry Porter has hit 4 out of 4 from the field. 21-15 Portland.
And then he got back and knocked the ball away and made it a turnover for the Chicago Bulls. So good presence of mind to get back on defense even after the jump shot.
If there are a couple factors that may play big in this entire series, it's turnovers and quick shots.
Drexler with a quick shot. Drexler on the follow-up. Nice pass for Robinson. Portland 23, Chicago 15. Just under 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Marv Albert with the czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello, along with Magic Johnson and Ahmad Rashad. There's Williams banking it home. Portland 23, Chicago 17. And Porter fouled by Paxson. So Porter will go to the line. You guys see a defensive shuffle coming up. Terry Porter has certainly had his way with John Paxson here in the early going.
But it's not that Porter has taken Paxson and turned the corner or taken him down low inside. The guy's knocking out jump shots. He'll knock out jumpers against anybody that gives him room.
Well, what he's catching Chicago is in their transition game. See, what you normally do against other teams is you suck back into the paint and then come out to challenge guards. But against Portland, you can't do that. You must get your defense out front and then suck back in.
Well, Phil Jackson now will go with B.J. Armstrong. John Paxson will sit down after picking up his second. Terry Porter grew up in Milwaukee. Did not start until his senior year at South Division High School in Milwaukee. In college, played center and both forward positions. He was a sleeper first-round pick out of Wisconsin, Stevens Point. Blazers lead 25-17 as we come up on 4 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Shot clock down to 5. Here's Pippen setting up Jordan, wide open for another 3.
Well, that three-point was created off the penetration of Pippen, and Drexler stepped in to stop him, and Michael was right there for the 3.
During the regular season, Michael Jordan hit only 27 from three-point land. Robinson, and back comes Pippen. Pippen all the way, lost possession, and it's deflected out by the Trailblazers.
You were saying that Michael Jordan, normally not known for his three-point shooting, but Remember what Ahmad told us? He was lifting weights this morning.
Yes.
He feels strong tonight.
Timeout called by the Trailblazers. They lead by 5.
Magic was talking about pushing out on Terry Porter. Don't drop back because he's going to pull up and try to shoot it in your face. He feels it right now in the playoffs. And then he just follows through long enough, okay, to let everybody know that he's got the stroke. Terry Porter.
And he has really turned it up during the playoffs. You see the progress from the Lakers series to the series against Phoenix, and then Utah averaging 26 a game. He shot only 46% during the regular season, but during the playoffs, Terry Porter has scored 30 or more 4 times, including that career-high 41 against Utah.
Well, they needed somebody to step up their game if they were going to get to this point. He was the man who stepped up his game, and Terry Porter might before a drive and missed it, but he's taken them to this point where they're at now with his great outside shooting.
Danny Ainge has checked in for the first time. Robinson changed his mind. Saved by Drexler. Blazers get back. Pippen back for Jordan again for 3. Well, Michael Jordan yesterday, in commenting about the comparisons with Clyde Drexler, said, yes, we're even in every category, although someone said, how about three-point shooting? And Drexler looks for the 3. Usually, whistle for the offensive foul against Portland. Foul committed by Mark Bryant. And Jordan made the point, well, I have not chosen to shoot three-point shots. As if to say, well, if I wanted to go that route, I'd be doing the same as Drexler. Well, he has chosen to look for the 3 here in the first quarter. That time he passed it up and hits the 2.
Well, see, he hit 3 or 4 in a row. Then Clyde knows he had to come up on him, so he sucked him in that time, pump fake, and went right past him for the easy 2-point jump shot.
And you see Rick Adelman is shaking his head on the sideline. What he's thinking about is they are not coming to meet the basketball against this Chicago team. You can't wait for the ball to come to you.
Oh, a strong move by Kersey to draw the foul. The basket counts, and Jerome Kersey will go to the line. Portland leads by 2.
Kersey, the ability to put it on the floor, take it to the basket, one of the big pluses for this Trailblazer team. They have so many guys that can put it down and take their defenders off the dribble.
That stopped a 10-2 run by Chicago, sparked by Jordan, who has 16 points in this first quarter. 3-point play for Kersey. And it's Portland 28, Chicago 25. 2 minutes remaining in the first. Jordan eluding Robinson. Yes! 18 from Michael Jordan. Traveling violation.
Well, Marv, Coach Patello said, Magic, what do you think Michael's going to do? Is he going to come out fast or slow? Here, behind the back, he just tricked. Cliff Robinson went right up. He's in his groove right now. He feeling it. He wants the ball, and he wants to lead his team in his first quarter.
Here's Armstrong. A.J. Armstrong hits on his first field goal attempt. The Bulls lead 29-28. Drexler with a beautiful move, and he is hammered. Wait a moment. Dick McGregor appeared to be calling the foul against Chicago, but Jake O'Donnell changed the call. The outside official said no, it's an offensive foul.
But Dick Bavetta stopped short of making the call, checked with the outside official, basically said, did you have a better look at it, a better angle than I did? Jake nodded, said yes. Jake took the call.
Clyde Drexler did not like the call. Now, Jerome Kersey will sit down, and a one-time Chicago ball. Enos Watley has checked in. He's guarding B.J. Armstrong.
And I would get Drexler out of there as soon as I could if I were Rick Adelman. You got 2 fouls on you, guy. Take him out, rest him for the end of this quarter.
Grant from Jordan. The Bulls 31, the Trailblazers 28.
See, this is the time that Portland has to slow their game down now. Okay, let's see what we got here. Not go so fast. You got to take that crowd back out of it. I'm sorry, Mark. Take the crowd back out of the game.
Knocked out by Armstrong. 13 on the 24. And Drexler will throw in. Ainge and Watley now in the backcourt. Bryant with Drexler, Robinson up front. The rejection by Williams. Here's Armstrong on the run for the pull-up. Rebound Pippen. Rebound Grant. The Bulls by 5.
And you could see the excitement in BJ that time. He couldn't wait to get down the court and then actually took a shot that was a little bit too quick, I'm sure, for what Phil Jackson would have liked.
Robinson. Cliff Robinson getting the roll. And it brings Portland within 3. 15 seconds to go in this first quarter.
Well, one thing that Chicago has not seen very often in the playoff is a 30-point quarter for their basketball team. So they got to be happy with the way they're scoring.
Jordan. And time has run out in this first quarter. Michael Jordan, 7 for 13 from the field, including 3 three-pointers to turn it around after the Trailblazers hit their first 7 field goal attempts. Well, it was one of the most celebrated NBA collegiate drafts of all time. Back in 1984, after Akeem Olajuwon was taken #1 by Houston, this is what took place.
Portland selects Sam Bowie, University of Kentucky. The Chicago Bulls pick Michael Jordan of the University of North Carolina.
Well, Sam Bowie was taken by the Blazers as the 2nd pick in the draft. And they have certainly heard about that selection a few times over the years. Michael Jordan then was the next selection. Back in '83, the Bulls going with Enos Watley, who, as it turns out, is now a member of the Portland Trailblazers. They took Watley ahead of Clyde Drexler. But you flash back to that time, most NBA teams would go for the big men because they felt that if you had a shot at a championship, it would usually start at the center position. Bill Cartwright just checked back in as the second quarter gets underway, has called for his 2nd foul.
And Marv, you're right. At that time, everybody felt you had to have a center, like Kareem or somebody, and that's why they picked Sam Bowie, knowing that they had Clyde Drexler. So where are you going to fit Michael in at?
The other question about Sam Bowie, who certainly had a decent NBA career, the injury problems that he had at University of Kentucky. Sam now, of course, a member of the New Jersey Nets. Here's Porter. Terry Porter continues the onslaught. He's 5 for 5. He has 12 points. The Bulls now lead 33-32. And Bobby Hansen, a seldom used player by Phil Jackson, has come out here at the start of the second quarter. Pippen was fouled. Hit by Robinson on the block. The early entrance of Bobby Hansen may be the result of the Craig Hodges sprained ankle, although Hodges is in uniform and ready to go.
And the other thing is you have Danny Ainge on the floor with some size at the guard position. Phil Jackson bringing out Bobby Hansen, who has equal size and strength to match up against him, not to give Ainge a real good look at the rim.
And you know that in this series, Marv, Michael Jordan's going to have to get more rest because you're playing an offensive threat in Clyde Drexler. It's not Craig Eglow or nobody where he can rest on defense. He's going to have to play defense. That's why you're probably going to see more of Hansen as this series progresses.
Michael Jordan sitting down following that 18-point first quarter. So it is Hansen matched with Ainge. Buck Williams is back up front with Robinson and Duckworth. Ainge and Porter in the backcourt. Robinson around Pippen. And it's handled by Williams. 3-on-2 for the Bulls. Pippen for Hansen, wide open. Yes. Bobby Hansen, who spent 7 years as a member of the Utah Jazz, 1 year with Sacramento, off the bench to hit on his first field goal attempt.
Bobby Hansen's one of those kamikaze guys. You put him out there, he gives everything he has for the minute that he's on the floor. A great role player for a team.
And when we was out there doing our pregame, as you want to call it, I was telling Danny Ainge, I said, hey, you in another championship? Well, Hansen came over and grabbed me and said, look, Irvin, I just want to win one. He's already won one.
Bobby Hansen had played in only 4 of 16 games in this year's playoffs. Here's Ainge. Rebound, Buck Williams. No box out, and Buck Williams able to put it home. The Bulls now lead 37-34. Pippen played on a switch by Duckworth. Finds the open Armstrong. Rebounded by Pippen. Stripped by Porter. The Bulls enter the first quarter with a 16-5 run, but the Trailblazers have come roaring back, and they now trail by 1. Portland did shoot 13 of 19 in that first quarter, hitting their first 7 field goal attempts. Chicago 11 of 24. Illegal defense called for the first time against Portland. 9:34 to go in the second quarter. It's Chicago by 1.
Ahmad Rashad back at Chicago Stadium now 8 years ago when Michael Jordan was drafted here. You know, nobody sent anybody to the airport from the Bulls to pick him out. And this man, George Kohler, found him wandering around the airport.
Well, it wasn't really wandering around the airport. He stepped off the airplane. I was standing there waiting for him. Strictly by accident.
And you happened to be a chauffeur at that point?
At that point, yes. Had my own company and went out there to pick up a customer. The guy never showed up, and Mike was the last guy off that airplane. So I asked him if he needed a ride. He said yes.
And it worked out very well. You've been his personal assistant now for 8 years.
8 years, yes.
All right, George, thanks a lot. Marv.
Yes, Michael Jordan found himself wandering around the airport and wondering what kind of organization was he drafted by. I know you did not receive the same treatment, Nigel.
No, the chauffeur was there, but the difference is now that I still know how to drive, and right now Michael don't know how to drive because he's being chauffeured around so much.
Buck Williams commits his third foul, and he will sit down. Jerome Kersey checking back in.
Well, screening becomes such an important part of getting the shooters open, and in the playoffs, the physicalness of the series allows for a lot of offensive fouls. Defenders chase him so hard, it's tough to get a good shot at the guy to clear your shooters.
Shot clock at 5. Here's Pippen. He's been quiet. That's his second field goal. 8 points for Pippen. And the Bulls now lead 39-36. At one point, Portland led by as many as 8. Robinson, yes. Nice touch by Cliff Robinson, his 5th field goal. He has 10 points. The Bulls 39, the Blazers 38.
Marv, with all the foul trouble that Portland is in, they should be happy where they're at right now with the score being what it is.
As 3 on Williams, 2 apiece. That's a 3, 2 apiece on Duckworth, Porter, and Drexler. Porter putting moves on Armstrong. A rare miss for Terry Porter. Armstrong ahead of the field. It's Chicago by 3.
And B.J. Armstrong, taking a page out of Portland's playbook, took off on the shot, was down the floor, just waving, hoping Pippen would look up.
Danny Ainge buries the 3-pointer. And for Portland, their first 3-point field goal. So Danny Ainge in playoff competition now tied for 2nd all time in 3-pointers. Michael Cooper, number 1, but within range of Ainge. Scott Williams. Strong move by the the second-year player out of North Carolina to give the Bulls a 2-point lead.
Well, during the regular season, Ainge shot 35% from the three-point line. Here in the playoffs, over 48% from the three-point line.
Robinson with the step as he whipped by Williams.
This was a big matchup concern for Chicago. Would Robinson be too quick for that backup guy to guard once Chicago started making substitutions? The backup guy happens to be Scott Williams, and so far, he can't handle Robinson.
Cliff Robinson in his third year out of the University of Connecticut has come off the bench to hit for 12 points. Armstrong, yes. That is his third field goal. He has 6. Chicago leads by 2. Porter, foul by Armstrong.
That matchup we talked about, can Williams guard Robinson? Well, off of this play right here, you'd have to say he's going to have a long night.
Chicago with a 45-44 lead. 6.5 remaining in this first half. Michael Jordan, after getting a considerable rest, has returned. The same for Clyde Drexler, and they match up once again. Here's Jordan to the fadeaway. 20 for Jordan.
Well, they posted Michael, but actually ran a little screen away action in the lane. That was a Livingston on Grant type of away from the ball action, but Jordan used the post up to his advantage.
Ainge took a shot from Livingston, who had just checked in.
See, Jordan is looking to the lane to see if Grant's open there for a split second. When he doesn't like what he sees there, well, then he makes something nice happen for the team.
Superstars love this situation. It's built up to be Jordan versus Drexler. Michael Jordan is saying, okay, come on, you're in my building, come on with it. I like it.
Well, to this point, Clyde Drexler, 3 of 6 for 6 points, along with 2 fouls, while Michael Jordan going to the three-point shot at 18 of his 20 in the first quarter. It will be Chicago ball. Phil Jackson with Jordan and Armstrong in the backcourt. He has Grant, Livingston, and Cartwright up front. So Scottie Pippen getting a rest. Pippen with 8 points, 7 assists in this first half.
Got Danny Ainge trying to keep Livingston off the offensive board, so he's got his work cut out there.
Portland with the ball. They are down by 2. Percy played by Grant. Shot clock at 5. Duckworth gets inside, but it will not count. A traveling violation.
Well, the rotation along the baseline for Chicago came a little bit late, but it was still just enough to bother Duckworth. As he turned to make the layup, he had to pause for a second. The travel took place.
This is game 1 of the best of 7. Game 2 here on Friday. 9 o'clock Eastern time here on NBC. And Grant hit the deck, shaken up, but he's all right. Chicago leads by 4. Drexler for 3. Jordan for 3. Well, Michael has gone to a new weapon. That's his 4th three-point field goal.
He's ready to play. He is ready.
The Bulls by 7, and Portland takes a timeout.
Better than that.
If you're wondering why Michael Jordan is wide open for these three-point shots, it's because as the ball goes on the floor, the entire defense of the Trailblazers collapses down below the dotted line area. As a result, when the ball comes back out, it takes Danny Ainge too long to recover, and then he's worried Michael's going to ball fake and go around them. The result, a clean look at the rim for Michael Jordan.
The Chicago Bulls, as we mentioned earlier, not noted as a three-point shooting ball club, while Portland is. Yet Chicago's hit 4 of 8, all 4 by Jordan, 4 of 6 from downtown, and the 4.5 for an NBA Finals game. That's Jordan with the steal, eluding Ainge. Yes. The Bulls by 9. Jordan has 25. Michael Jordan with 4 3-pointers and a half has tied the NBA Finals record for most 3-pointers in a half. Drexler with a wild shot. Livingston gets to the rebound, and here come the Bulls, led by Armstrong. He fires. Terry Porter blocked by B.J. Armstrong.
A moment ago, we talked about the deciding factor here might be turnovers, which then lead to quick shots. The turnover caused by Michael Jordan's defense, the quick shot caused by Michael Jordan's offense at the other end.
I tell you, the tail of the tape. See, this is what Michael lived for. He wanted this challenge, and he's showing Clyde, not only Clyde, but the world that, hey, I am the greatest, I am the best in the world.
Drexler wide open pass on the outside shot, and then he drew the foul. It was hacked on the play. Jordan now has 25 points. Cartwright called for the foul as third. 25 for Jordan. The most points in an NBA Finals game in one half. 33 by Elgin Baylor. He did in April of '62, and we still have 3:41 remaining in this half. And Jordan is only 8 points away from that all-time record.
Well, we just saw Clyde pass up a wide open 15-footer. I mean, can guarding somebody that puts 25 on you only kind of make you think twice about what you want to do?
Exactly. And Michael has taken him out of his rhythm, and also 2 fouls has not gotten Clyde, not enabled Clyde to get into his rhythm. Michael is in his rhythm, but Clyde is not into his offensively.
The Bulls lead 54-47. Drexler went for the steal, and it's Jordan again. Michael Jordan, 11 for 17, 27. Oh, Kersey with a facial. Jerome Kersey cuts it to a 7-point Chicago lead. We come up on 3 minutes to go in the first half.
And Marv, this is an important 3 minutes for the Portland Trailblazers to try to stay in this ball game.
Jordan with the one-on-one move, found Grant. Tipped home by Scott Williams. The Bulls 58 and the Blazers 49. Robinson. Run down by Kersey. Goes to the alley-oop. It will be Chicago ball.
And those are the kinds of plays that, if they happen at the wrong time, they wind up leading to runs, particularly by a Chicago Bulls team. It's the right time and place that you talk about when you want to throw lob passes. Unfortunately, for the Blazers, they're not coming at the right time.
2:20 to go in the first half. Pippen, rebounded by Grant. Jordan for 3, yes! That is an NBA Finals record. 5 3-pointers in a half. Michael Jordan hits the 3. He now has 30 points. He is 3 points away from most points scored in a half in an NBA final. Elgin Baylor with the record set back in '62. And as you see, the most 3-point field goals in an NBA Finals game is 6. Michael Cooper did it for the Lakers against Boston. Phil Laimbeer of Detroit did it against Portland.
My, oh my, oh my. That's all you can say. Michael Jordan loves this platform of displaying his skills, and especially, like I said, he got somebody in Clyde Drexler to go against.
The Bulls have opened up a 12-point lead. 2 minutes remaining. First half. Bulls by 14. Drexler for three, air ball. Here's Jordan for three, yes! Did you see that look? Michael indicating he can't believe it.
Well, if you take those hurried shots, that's what's going to happen. The runs of the Chicago Bulls can open the game wide open. The defensive pressure, the steals, the transition game, and then Pippen taking it to the hole. Michael following it back up again, throws it down. He feels it. There's nothing else he can say other than the man feels it and lets us know.
Oh, here's that three again. You know, and just let us know that, hey, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling good. It's my game. I love it. I love it.
And Michael Jordan, with 35 points, has set an NBA record most points in a half in an NBA championship series. He has keyed this 19-4 Chicago run over the last 4 minutes. So Michael Jordan has erased Elgin Baylor, the one-time Los Angeles Laker, from the record book. Baylor with 33 and a half back in April of 62. And Michael Jordan, with his sixth three-point field goal, has tied an NBA Finals mark for most three-pointers in an entire game.
What more can you say? What more can you say? I mean, you know, let's go back to what we talked about at the top of the show. Poor decision-making. Right now, Portland is making poor decisions. Three-pointer by Clyde Drexler, air ball. Cliff Robinson shoots off-balance shot. It returns a layup. Steal by Pippen on an errant pass. Dunk Michael Jordan. So it's just poor decisions leading up to this big lead.
And the other thing you mentioned, Magic, in the last 3 minutes, so important because championship teams know when they've got their opponents heads down a little bit. Instead of going in with a complacent 10, 12-point lead, they try to bury it just before halftime.
Exactly.
And this is a Portland club that opened up by hitting its first 7 field goals. We talked at the start about the fact that they have certainly had the reputation about losing their poise. Cliff Robinson. Robinson has played well. He has 14, and the Bulls now lead 66 to 51.
You know, normally when you're down this big, you say, well, the team must not be shooting well, but Portland is shooting over 61% in this first half.
And Grant took a push from Robinson. That a second foul charged to Cliff Robinson. Michael Jordan with 18 points in the first quarter, 17 in the second. Remember, he sat out a good portion of this second quarter. Here's Jordan again from downtown. So he's 6 for 9 from three-point range.
But Marv, you know what's making this 35 points that he has in the half so outstanding is the fact that normally he's driving and doing spectacular shots in the lane, and tonight it's all jump shots.
And he stayed away from the outside shot against the Cavaliers in Game 6. That's an illegal defense call for the first time against Chicago because Michael Jordan was bothered by the sprained wrist, and then he went to the drive and certainly excelled and took the Bulls to the victory down the stretch of the fourth quarter.
16 big points in the fourth quarter against Cleveland.
Kersey rejected by Grant. The Bulls with a 3-on-2. Final seconds of this first half. Grant. Williams knocked it away, and time has run out. A very special first half here in Chicago. Michael Jordan, 14 of 21, an NBA Championship Series record 35 points in the half. This the 241st consecutive sellout at Chicago Stadium, better than 18,000 on hand. And the Bulls turning it on in the second quarter, led by Michael Jordan, lead the Portland Trailblazers by 15. Jordan opens up with Paxson in the backcourt, Cartwright, Grant, and Pippen on the front line. Paxson, yes. John Paxson hitting on his first field goal, and it's Chicago 68 and Portland 51.
You know, that was a set play coming out of the out of half. They wanted to get John involved, ran a double pick for him, and came off shooting a jump shot.
Percy. High-point men for Portland. Cliff Robinson with 14, and Terry Porter with 13. Cartwright. So Bill Cartwright with his first field goal. For the Bulls, only Michael Jordan in double figures. Scottie Pippen with 8, Horace Grant with 6, E.J. Armstrong, Scott Williams each 6 points.
You see the Chicago Bulls defense up overplaying, denying Portland, forcing him to pop down deeper to start their offense.
And off that bucket by Drexler, the Bulls now lead 70-53. Minute and a half gone by in the third quarter. Cartwright getting the good position, then threw back out to Pippen. Paxson checked the clock. Grant.
The difference in the Chicago offense compared to the difference in the Portland offense is the fact that Chicago is taking their time. They're running through all the options. When the first option breaks down for Portland, though, they go to a one-on-one and take bad shots from going to the one-on-one, where Chicago flows in their offense.
And that's one of the things they wanted to stop, was the quick shot type of thing. The jump ball that time produced by the excellent defense of Grant, timing it, getting it from behind.
During the course of the playoffs, following the series against Miami, Chicago sweeping by Miami in 3, we have rarely seen the Chicago Bulls. Pippen off the break. What a recovery by Pippen, because the ball was knocked away, but Pippen was able to get it back, and Portland wants to talk it over.
When you can get easy scores off a jump ball situation, it's such an advantage. You take advantage of every opportunity presented to you. The Chicago Bulls. Scottie Pippen on his way to a triple-double right now. 10 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. At the end of this layup, watch how he almost loses the ball right there, but those big hands hold on just long enough to guide it in. The soft touch by Scottie Pippen.
Going back to the latter stage of the second quarter, over the last 8 minutes, Chicago has outscored Portland 27-8. And they have this big lead, 74-53. Another Portland turnover. Paxson open. Yes. So the Bulls now lead 76-53.
And Chicago got the Trailblazers where they want them. Just playing random offense and turnover again. Here come Pippen.
Paxson. And another 24 for Chicago. Jordan for 3. And it comes back to Paxson. And now Jordan being guarded by Porter. Here's Pippen. Yes, and it counts.
Scottie Pippen has the mismatch. No way Duckworth can play him off the dribble. Pippen shows him this is the way to the basket, big guy.
But credit Horace Grant with this move because Horace Grant moved out of the post for him. That enabled the lane to open up, but Scottie Pippen can take it down and score the layup.
It's the recognition of teammates when there's a mismatch. Wait a minute, there's the guy with the ball. Pippen guarded by Duckworth. Open it up. Let him have the lane.
Three-point play for Pippen. And the Bulls have outscored the Trailblazers 13-2 in this third quarter. Robinson. Now Jordan being played by Kersey. Michael Jordan with his first field goal of the third quarter. He now has 37. That was a three-point attempt. It just gets worse and worse for the Trailblazers.
Well, they're not going inside. See, they stand on the outside trying to shoot jumpers, and they're not falling. You got to pound that ball inside, try to get some foul, try to slow this momentum that the Chicago Bulls have, and they're not doing that.
Jordan. Bulls with an 81-53 lead. Here's Robinson. He drew the foul. Called on Williams. Well, in this third quarter, Rick Adelman has been going with different people matched against Michael Jordan. It is no longer Clyde Drexler.
You know, we had heard in the build-up prior to the game that is Michael Jordan going to be worn out having to play somebody like Clyde Drexler? What's it going to do to his offensive game? Well, what's happened is Michael Jordan's offensive game is right at the top of itself, and if there's anybody right now who should have a concern, okay, with the matchup situation, Rick Adelman now has made a change, and whether or not this is a statement that he will continue to do throughout the series remains to be seen, but certainly Drexler was not the right guy in that half to be playing Michael Jordan.
Well, they not only do they have bad matchups there with Michael Jordan, but they have, right now they're having bad matchups with the Chicago Bulls team because they're not affecting anything that the Chicago Bulls are doing right now, especially offensively. They're moving through the lane just easy. They're not getting bumped, hit, anything.
Shot clock at 4.
Chicago ball.
And it will be Chicago ball with 1 on the 24. Williams. Scott Williams did well to get off the shot, and then he got the benefit of the friendly rim. 83-55 Chicago. But Williams is fouled. He'll go to the line. The Bulls have outscored the Trailblazers now 17-4 in this third quarter.
You know, I want to go back to that matchup of Drexler on Jordan for a second. It's not to say that Clyde, okay, wasn't trying to do a good job. I don't care who they would have had on Michael Jordan in that first half. Jordan was on a roll. He was in a bubble, and it just happened to be Clyde was the guy that was guarding him in the first half. That doesn't mean you chuck that out for the rest of the series, because you come out another game and the guy digs in and does a good job on the other end. So you stay with what you know best. Rick Adelman knows his team better than anybody else. He'll make those decisions in the end.
But right now, they're not going about getting back in this game the right way. You got to pound that ball inside. I don't care what happens. Get it inside, make things happen that way instead of shooting jumpers. Nobody's hitting for them outside, so let's go inside.
And Pippen's pass picked off by Williams. Now Drexler picked up by Grant. Robinson rejected by Grant. Drexler off the recovery. Clyde Drexler with only his 5th field goal. He has 12 points. And that last touch by Portland.
So Roger, going back to Magic's inside statement, there's only certain ways you can stop a run and stop the clock. One way is if you get fouled to go to the free throw line, it stops the run.
Michael Jordan off a set play on the inbounds. So Jordan with 39, and the Bulls lead 85-58. It is another Blazer turnover.
Marv, I'm going to just keep my VCR on, because when that tape is done tonight and my baby is born, I'm going to just pull it out and say, this is Michael Jordan. I'm introducing my son or daughter to Michael Jordan on this game tonight.
And the foul is called when your baby is born.
That's right, soon.
Out of bounds underneath. If you turn your head for a second, Jordan will back cut you, go to the rim. It's just a matter of lobbing the thing up on top. They love starting Michael in the middle of the lane, and then he operates from there.
Are we looking at momentary? Scottie Pippen with 15 points. Bulls now lead 87-58.
Jordan in the middle of the lane. There's the back cut. Starts right, goes left. The lob, perfect.
Here's Ainge for three. Robinson rejected. And Pippen puts it down. Well, this has reached the point of embarrassment for Portland. They are being blown away here in the third. 5:23 remaining.
In the NBA, every second is
5:15 to go in the third. Portland now with Porter and Ainge in the backcourt. An offensive foul has been called. It's on Drexler. That's 3 on Clyde.
Can there be anything more frustrating than taking a timeout, setting up a play, telling your team to execute, you come out and you get an offensive foul on a screen?
Well, let's give the Bulls credit. The way you beat Portland is to get them in a game like this, where they have to think, they have to make decisions, and usually they come up with poor decision making, and they've done that throughout this game. Poor decision, tip in right there by Williams, but they've been frustrated. Turnovers and jump shots, that's all they've been doing. Turn the ball over, taking jump shot, and the Bulls been transferring that into points on the offensive end.
Scott Williams is now 5 for 5 for 10 points. Loose ball foul has been called on Paxson. Let's go over to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Mark. I'm joined now by James Jordan, and we have talked about Michael being focused in the past, but today, this is ridiculous.
Well, I'll tell you, today this kid has showed that he eat his Wheaties, drink his Gatorade, and he's wearing his Hanes underwear.
There is a very nice commercial for all those three products. Back to you, Mark.
I don't know, is James collecting the fees also?
Exactly. He was in the Hanes commercial, so he knows he's got to get a part of that check, some of that money.
Scott Williams called for the foul is 4th. But Magic, of most significance, you dropped the point a moment ago. Your wife Cookie is due, I guess, momentarily, so you have the VCR set. And this will be the first thing that the new addition to the family will see. Michael Jordan's performance in the first half.
That's right. Within a week or so, we'll have the baby, and I'm going to throw that tape right in there.
I'm sure.
While I'm sitting there watching, he or she will be sitting there watching.
You realize that the voice of the czar will be very, very scary for a youngster. Down to 4:15 remaining in this third quarter, and the Bulls lead by 31. Off the steal, pass behind Porter, so it slows it down. He fires one up, an air ball from downtown. And here's Porter again. Out of control sequence for Terry Porter.
If the fans are wondering why the press and other people keep talking about decision making, well, there was a bad decision. You shoot a jump shot with nobody back, pull the ball out, run a play, because you're down over 30 points, so you got to run a play now.
In effect, you got to get back into your normal sequence, even if you're trailing by 30 points.
Exactly.
And here comes Jordan. Armstrong with the pull-up. The Bulls lead 93-60. Crowd wanted to travel on Drexler. Porter shooting the three. Loose ball foul on Robinson.
Long rebounds take place when you're not shooting well and when you pull up and shoot quick perimeter shot. As a result, the Chicago Bulls, who have one of the best sets of point guard, two-man, three-man, can get out and fill the lanes. They're always running back at you when you're not making your jumpers.
The hand for Scott Williams, replaced by Stacey King, making his first appearance. So Scott Williams continues to excel in the playoffs. Williams with 10 points. He's hit 5 of 5 from the field. Pippen going to his left. Yes, and it counts.
Trailblazer personal foul, Cliff Robinson.
When Chicago plays pick and roll basketball, it's supposed to be an aggressive double team, almost a trap, but you see Pippen gets a clear path to the basket. There was no trap. He was not forced to pick up the dribble. He got a good look, split, took it to the hole.
Standing ovation for Michael Jordan. I'm wondering if we will see him on the floor anymore this evening.
I doubt it. Up 36 right now. It looks like you're going to go into the fourth quarter being up 30 or more unless something happens in this next 3 minutes. So I doubt if you'll see him back again.
Jordan with 39 points. NBA Championship Series record, 35 in the first half. And Pippen was fouled. The Bulls have outscored the Blazers here in the third quarter, 30-9. Robinson called for his fifth, and it puts Portland over the limit. So Pippen will shoot a pair. Michael Jordan, 16 for 26, 6 for 10 from three-point range. The 10 attempts from downtown is a record for an NBA Finals game. And Scottie Pippen is only 1 rebound away from a triple-double. A very nice stat line.
Now you want to know what the difference is between the last 2 series that the Bulls played in this series is the fact that when they went to the basket on Cleveland or New York, they got fouled, and instead of being able to put it in for a three-point play, they just went to the free throw line, and that was a good move right there by Jerome Kersey. And in this series, they're able to go to the free throw line, I mean in this game right here, and not get hard fouls and continue to make the basket, just like there. Not a hard foul, a reach-in foul by Jerome on Pippen, and he scores the basket anyway.
Once again, Scottie Pippen with an opportunity for a three-point play.
That in-between game, take it off the dribble, but then know when to pull up because the defense rotates over and stops you short. You must have the in-between game in the NBA.
And with Jordan going to the bench, Pippen has scored 5 straight points, and that's what the Bulls usually want to do, go to Pippen when Michael Jordan sits down.
The Bulls 100 and the Blazers 62 as we approach 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. A blowout in game 1 of this best of 7.
2 minutes and 1.
So Duckworth able to convert.
If you just look back for a second, the way Chicago defended the pick and roll, they've got Portland backing up all the time, not attacking. When Chicago plays pick and roll, Portland tries to trap it. Chicago takes it to the basket strong.
Armstrong. Percy lost it. King with a steal. And Stacey King hears it from the crowd. Here's Hansen. Started to make the point earlier that for the first time in a long while, as Drexler was fouled, we are seeing the Chicago Bulls that were seen throughout the regular season. Regular season that saw them win 67 and lose 15, and a Bulls club that we saw during the course of the playoffs a year ago.
Well, when you get into this free-flowing game, this is where the Bulls are at their best. See, and they're not getting the hard foul. The Portland Trailblazers are not trying to dictate tempo. They're running down and playing right into the Bulls' hands by taking quick shots. So now you're seeing the Bulls instead of the Chicago Bulls.
He's got it wrong, doesn't he? Okay.
And this is what he gets the big bucks for. Magic watching too much Saturday Night Live, I think. A minute remaining in this third quarter. The Bulls 100, the Blazers 66. And Jake O'Donnell with the call away from the ball. Pushing foul.
When you're down 34 points with an entire quarter to go, do you try and shake it up a little bit, maybe throw your full court press, your half court trap on, try to get a little run going for yourself, or you just basically sit back and think you're going to be able to dig it out man to man, defensively?
Right now, fourth quarter, what the Blazers should do is try to get into something now, try to see what can work for us on Friday night. Run our offense to get ready for Friday. That's the only thing they should be concerned with. Try to get ready for Friday.
The largest margin of victory in an NBA Final Series game. Washington beat Seattle by 35 back in June of '78, 117-82. The Bulls here lead it by 35.
Robert Pack, the rookie point guard, decided he was going to be an offensive rebounder that time. He's got to learn you must cover the backcourt for your team. No one back. The Bulls are going to fill the lanes, and this time, instead of Pippen, you've got your 6'10" power forward Grant scoring at the end.
And they say, yeah, 2 points for me.
Robert Pack, the rookie from University of Southern California, checking in. Pack rejected by Pippen. And the foul is called on Portland.
Personal foul 22 on Drexler.
It's on Drexler. That is his fourth.
Now, I seem to remember somewhere where a team one time in the playoffs got blown out real big in a certain game, and they had to come back, and I think they were able to do it. Is that?
I thought I was going to say that story to the fourth quarter, but now that you mentioned that, the Boston Massacre, when we got beat, I think by about 46 in the opening game of that series, and sitting there watching in the fourth quarter, Boston, everything went. Sky hooks, jump shots by even the reserve players kind of made all of us get upset, get our game together.
And how did Pat Riley handle that for the next game?
He made us watch film for the next 3 days. All the bad things that we had done in that game, and just got our minds ready. And we had to play a more physical game, a smarter game, and we were able to do that in game 2.
Here's Pack with a very impressive drive. Robert Pack goes 6'2", 180, but he can soar, as you just saw. Final seconds of the third quarter. The Bulls 104, and the Blazers 68. Michael Jordan with 35 of his 39. Back in Chicago Stadium, Marv Albert, along with Magic Johnson, Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad, as we head to the fourth quarter. Game 1 of the best of 7, game 2 here in Chicago. Friday night will be on hand starting 9 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock Pacific for game 2 of this best of 7. Well, Michael Jordan has checked back in. We thought perhaps we had seen the last of Jordan in the final minutes of the third. Here's Ainge galloping, and it's tipped home by Bryant.
That's the first time that we saw 5 or 6 passes from the Portland team and ended up in a score. That's what they must do. Pass the ball around 5 or 6 times and then take the shot instead of one pass and shot.
Bulls 104, Blazers 70. Jordan now guarded by Ainge. Livingston, yes, Cliff Livingston, who has shown flashes during the playoffs once again this season, hitting on his first field goal.
And that started out as a Michael Jordan shot attempt, and only because the defense got a hand on it, he was able to recover, get control, and then find a teammate and drop it off at the end to Livingston.
Very poor shooting by O'Brien. Able to hit, crowd wanted to travel. Portland only 5 for 21 in the third quarter. Stacey King not able to hit. Here's Bryant sweeping in. And the Bulls now lead 106-74. Rick Adelman going with Duckworth and Bryant up front. And then he has 3 guards. Watley is out there now with Pat and Ainge. Shot clock at 1. Here's Jordan. Armstrong passing on the 3.
For Chicago, you really only have one guy that can create shots. That's Michael Jordan, and he's not really warmed up yet, so they're going to struggle offensively, this group, for a little while.
Ainge.
But see, I don't know if I like this, because you got a man like Michael Jordan in a groove, in a rhythm. Why not, okay, have a seat for the rest of the night and stay in that groove for next game instead of bringing him out now when he's cold and he's on the floor. That's the second time on the floor. And he may get hurt. He may get out of that rhythm and not carry it over into Friday's game.
I'll try and be Phil Jackson and think for him for a second. The one reason might be because they're so used to running their offense with either Pippen or Jordan, and Pippen was taking his blow. Phil might have thought it was too much time left in the game to let him go without one of them on the court.
And leading off to what you just said before the timeout about Michael, I understand Coach Jackson's what he wants to do, but what happens is when you come back in, you've been sitting and you're cold. As a player, I know I didn't want to come back in because it's hard for me to get it back going again.
Would you have expressed that? Would you have said, I'd rather sit it out?
Probably not. If you're called to go in and do your job, you go in and do it.
Well, the Bulls lead 106-78. 4 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. King posting. Won't count. Hugh Hollins with the whistle before the shot. It's on Duckworth, his third, and it is a non-shooting foul.
If they're going to win game 2, Kevin Duckworth has to get more shot opportunities. He must be more involved in the offense.
And he opened up involved, and the Trailblazers opened up by hitting their first 7 field goal attempts. And then it all turned around as Michael Jordan went to three-point land, as P.J. Armstrong just did. And the Bulls now lead 109-78.
B.J. knows when Michael has the ball, he just floats to that corner spot, hopes that Michael draws his defensive man in a double-team situation. Then it's a matter of knocking out open jump shots, because Michael's going to find you and give you the ball.
Wild shot thrown up by Bryant. Wayne Cooper has come on for the first time. Wayne, a 14-year veteran out of the University of New Orleans. And he is guarding King. Here's Scott Williams. Well, we talked about Terry Porter being in the shooter zone. You don't think of Scott Williams as a shooter, but he's in the zone. He's hit 6 of 6. And the foul is called. You know, you break down Michael Jordan's game and what he contributes to the ball club. Check out this equation during the course of the playoffs. He accounts for 34% of the Bulls' points, 11% in terms of assists, which led, as you saw, to 176 points. But in the first half, with that record 35 points, as Ainge is able to bank it home, and Ainge has 8 points in the first half with 35 out of Chicago's 66 points. You are talking 65% of the offense.
And what is surprising about the way he did it, not the fact that he accomplished it, because we all knew that he's capable of doing it, but it was all from the outside. 4 points on drives. He had a layup and a follow-up dunk. And the rest of them were jump shots.
I don't think Ennis Watley will want to see that shot on the replay. That's in trouble. So the ball goes back to Portland, but first a timeout taken with 6:23 left in the fourth.
This is a story about BK from BK.
Well, we've been talking about the exploits of Michael Jordan, and deservedly so, but the other Chicago Bull who has come through in a major way, Scottie Pippen, while Jerome Kersey has struggled. You recall the last time that Portland played Chicago here in Chicago, which was a blowout for the Bulls, Kersey went 0 for 8 from the field against Chicago.
I thought this would be the key matchup for the series, and I still feel that way. If Pippen is able to dominate Kersey, Portland can forget it. They will have no chance in this series. But if Kersey is able to come back with a strong showing, that will enable the Portland Trailblazers to get into that free-flowing game that they like to play, and that would enable to take some pressure off of Clyde Drexler.
Foul was called on Pack. Will Perdue has checked in for the first time, and now Phil Jackson with a front line of Livingston, King, and Perdue. Armstrong and Hansen are out the guard, so Michael Jordan sits down.
Getting back to that matchup early in the year, back in November, Kersey had 21 against Chicago. Pippen had 28 that particular evening as well.
Ala Abdelnaby will come on for the first time. Danny Ainge departs. Abdelnaby in his second year out of Duke, who has not been getting the playing time. 5:45 remaining in this fourth quarter. Bobby Hansen getting on his second field goal. He has 5 points, and the Bulls lead 115-80.
See, Portland's got to realize, and they're thinking for game 2. Here's a break right here. Good passing. Stacey misses. Portland has to realize this. They cannot play the Chicago Bulls like they played Utah, like they played the Lakers. They must change their game, because you can't free flow against these Chicago Bulls and just shoot jumpers and just come down and make bad decisions, because the Bulls will turn them into dunks and layups like they have in this game.
They come back at you so quick. You make a mistake, you make a wrong decision, you pay for it quickly.
Armstrong and King able to get the new 24. Well, the Portland Trailblazers knocked off the Lakers 3-1, beat the Phoenix Suns 4-1. There's Perdue. So Will Perdue, who has seen his playing time diminish, first against the Knicks, again, then against the Cavaliers, able to hit on his first field goal attempt. Portland Trailblazers, after knocking off the Lakers and the Suns, then beat Utah in 6, bringing them to the NBA final. Loose ball foul on Stacey King.
Chicago.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, the biggest differential in an NBA final series, Washington knocking off Seattle. A 35-point difference. And right here, our score is 117 to 80. Washington beat Seattle 117 to 82. Purdue is called for the foul. It has not been a happy night for Portland coach Rick Adelman in his 4th season as head coach of the Trailblazers, the first captain of the Portland Trailblazers, an original member of the franchise. He is the NBA's 2nd winningest coach over the last 3 years behind the Bulls, Phil Jackson.
You know, the reason why Will Purdue's time was cut because Scott Williams has been playing so great. I mean, he's been playing outstanding basketball in all the series even before this one.
Scott Williams emerged last season in the playoffs. You certainly got a taste of it in the series against the Lakers. Livingston able to go glass.
The reason we lost that series was because of the Chicago bench. They outplayed and dominated our bench.
Both Livingston and Williams came on in the championship series against the Lakers. Here's Livingston from Armstrong. The Bulls lead 121-82.
You know, I kind of see a lot of confusion going on with the Portland team. They don't know what quite they want to run, and they got different guys not in the position they're supposed to be in.
I think you were right on target earlier, though, when Portland was in the process of being blown out early 3rd quarter, but they continued to fire up from all angles rather than go to either pounding it inside or, on the other hand, trying to work on something that might help Friday night. Timeout has been called by the Blazers with 2:56 remaining in the 4th.
NBA TV's Game Time is bigger than ever.
Stacey King on the foul line. The biggest lead of the night, a 38-point margin. The Bulls right here lead by 37. The all-time record, largest differential in an NBA Finals game, 35 points. Washington doing it against Seattle back in '78.
And I think our total was 33 against the Celtics. We're right up there, too, I think.
Quick research tells me yes.
But let's remind the fans that we lost that game by 33. We ended up winning the series. So this series is way from being over. One game is only one game. And that's what the Portland Trailblazers have to keep in mind.
Exactly why you have a 7-game series. So if you run into something like this, you forget it, you put it behind, you learn from it, you make your adjustments, then you show up on a new night with a different energy level, perhaps new concentration, and a few wrinkles here or there.
There'll be a lot of tape watching tomorrow. You can believe that on that Portland Trailblazers side.
And you wonder what wrinkles Rick Adelman can come up with against Michael Jordan. As you mentioned, Mike, very little he could do when Jordan is hitting from long range, 6 for 10 from three-point land, but I would think there will be a slightly different approach.
I would think we'll see a little bit more aggressive Portland defense, perhaps a little more trapping, getting out and denying, overplaying a little bit more, maybe go to their half-court trap that they have used at times in the past to take Chicago out of running their offense as smoothly and as well as they do.
And a lot more passes on offense instead of one pass or no passes and shot attempt by the Portland Trailblazers. You'll probably see them slow the game down a little bit more.
How many times you hear coaches say, are we running our one-pass offense tonight?
So the ball goes back to Chicago. On a night that has seen Michael Jordan come through with one of the great NBA final performances, 35 points in the first half, and that is a new record. Here's Bryant, and Bryant gets it back. Very persistent and able to hit the Bulls 122 and the Blazers 87. Portland has turned it over 20 times.
And off those 20, I would believe that Chicago has scored maybe 15 times off those 20 turnovers.
Nice give and go between Hansen and Purdue is fouled.
And you know what happens? Guys get to know each other in practice, and that's why that give and go was nice. You can tell that they were looking at each other and say, okay, I'm a back door, but I'm going to look for you, Will, when I get it. And they work that to perfection, the give and go. Young people out there should watch Bob Hansen and Will Perdue on that play, because that's what basketball is all about.
To me, one of the nice things about having a few days off before you start a championship series is you really notice what the points of emphasis are for the various teams, what the coaches have been emphasizing in their practice sessions. With Chicago, you knew it was offensive execution and spacing. They kept moving out behind the three-point line.
Off the travel. Chicago gets it back as we approach 1 minute remaining in this fourth quarter. The capacity crowd has been filing out right throughout the quarter. An enormous night for the defending NBA champion Chicago Bulls. Here's Purdue, wild shot. Livingston with the save off the face of Purdue. To check out the description of that on the Will 1-900 number that he has going here in Chicago. I have a feeling he'll be dealing with that. The steal by Watley puts the move on, and Armstrong gets it back.
To tell you how good the Chicago team defense has been tonight. Portland came in here averaging 115 points in the playoff. Tonight, only 89. That's how good the Chicago defense has been tonight.
And Pack was stopped by King. It'll be Chicago possession.
Show you a veteran, smart player. That time, Hansen had a wide-open three-point shot. The crowd yelled for him to shoot it. He knows he doesn't want to rub any dirt in their face. They got to play the rest of the games. He just backed it out, swung the ball.
Standing ovation for the Bulls, who are just running the clock down with that 122-89 lead. Shot clock down to 1. Livingston from 3. And that will do it. The only consolation, it's a 33-point differential, which is 2 points shy of the largest margin of victory in an NBA Finals game. The Bulls take game 1, led by Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. They do it 122-89.
With 39 points and 11 assists, league MVP Michael Jordan led the Bulls to a big Game 1 victory over the Trailblazers in the '92 Finals. The teams would alternate wins for the rest of the series, ending with the Bulls successfully defending their title in 6 games. Thank you for watching this edition of Hardwood Classics on NBA TV. I'm Rick Kamla. We'll see you next time.
Big shots. You can feel the excitement.
That crowd is on their feet.
Being in the moment.
5 seconds remaining. A 1-point game.
Blank everything out. Trust in your practice. Trust in your shot. Just an explosion of emotions.
Can you believe that shot?
Pandemonium.
This crowd going for something.
That's the definition of a big shot.